Mary Owen dragged herself higher on Mount Hood, because staying where she had fallen meant the mountain would keep her. Her ankle would not hold. Her leg was cut. Snow and cloud had erased the way back. Below her, the slope dropped into terrain she could not safely descend. Above her, the mountain disappeared into white. She had come for a climb she believed she could finish in a day, but now she was alone, injured, and far from the route she was supposed to follow. Every movement hurt. Every hour took warmth and strength from her body. If she stopped thinking clearly, the cold would finish it. Mary was 23 years old, a college student from Newberg, Oregon, and an experienced hiker who had wanted to climb Mount Hood for years. Mount Hood rises east of Portland, familiar from the valley, but deadly when weather closes in. Mary had planned a spring break climb with others in March 2013. When the group did not go, she decided to try it alone. She left early on Sunday, March 24th. Her plan was ambitious but simple: climb, turn around, and come back by Monday morning. She filed a climbing plan and set out with a day pack, food, and water. In her vehicle, she left heavier gear that might have helped later. At the start, that choice made sense. It became one of the decisions she would have to survive. Mount Hood drew her upward through snow and thin air. For hours, she moved toward the summit. She was roughly 2,000 feet below the summit when the mountain changed around her. A whiteout came in and turned the world into a blur. Landmarks vanished. Visibility shrank until the mountain ahead of her was no longer a place she could read. Mary kept going for a while. Later, she admitted she had been headstrong. She was close enough to the summit to feel the pull of finishing, but the mountain was no longer giving her enough information to travel safely. Eventually, she understood she had to turn back. She tried to follow her own tracks down, but the tracks were gone. Wind and blowing snow had erased them, or the terrain had pulled her off course. She drifted off route and ended up on the wrong side of the mountain. The safe descent became a maze of ridges, snowfields, and canyons. Trying to find her way out, she moved into steep terrain near the Sandy Glacier side of Mount Hood. Then she fell. The fall was about 40 feet over rocky ground. Pain shot through her body. Her right ankle was badly injured. She had a wound on her left thigh. The injury made walking almost impossible. She was no longer just lost. She was trapped by her own body. Mary had to make decisions fast. She dug a shelter into the snow to get protection from wind and cold. It was not comfortable, but it gave her a place where the weather could not hit her directly every second. She had limited food: snack bars, crackers, ramen, chia seeds, the kind of supplies someone might carry for a long day, not for almost a week. She rationed what she had and melted snow for water. The mountains settled around her through the first night. At home, no alarm had yet become public. Her plan said she should return by Monday morning, but it did not immediately trigger a major rescue. A failure in the registration process meant her climbing plan did not bring searchers to her as quickly as it should have. While Mary waited on the mountain, the people who loved her did not yet know enough to find her. Monday came with pain, cold, and the knowledge that she could not simply walk out. She tried to climb and move when she could, but every effort was limited by the injury. She used fire when she could, burning wrappers and debris to melt snow and create warmth. Every calorie mattered. Every dry layer mattered. She had to keep her mind working while the mountain kept giving her reasons to stop. Tuesday became another day of waiting. Food ran lower. Search aircraft were not yet circling above her. Rescuers were not yet walking through the snow toward her voice. She was alive, but alone in a way most people never experience. The world had narrowed to pain, snow, water, and the need to make it through the next hour. By Wednesday, her supplies were nearly gone. She had been outside for days, injured and exposed. She began to experience strange dreams and hallucinations, imagining people coming to tell her how to get off the mountain. Each time, the help disappeared when she woke fully, or understood that no one was there. Those moments were cruel because they gave her a flash of rescue and then took it away. At lower elevation, worry grew. Friends and family realized something was wrong. Mary had not returned. She had not checked in. Her plans no longer matched the silence. Her parents contacted authorities. Searchers began trying to understand where she had gone and what route she might have taken. On Thursday, March 28th, police found the vehicle she had used to reach the mountain. That discovery turned concern into a concentrated search. The car showed she had not simply changed plans. She had entered Mount Hood and had not come back. Search teams began working against a terrifying clock. 4 nights had already passed. For Mary, Thursday felt like another fight to stay alive. Frostbite was developing in her feet and toes. Her ankle and leg injury made every attempt to move punishing. She knew staying hidden could keep rescuers from seeing her, but moving could make her fall again or burn the little strength she had left. She had to balance shelter, visibility, survival, and risk. Good Friday brought aircraft overhead. Mary saw or heard them and believed the rescue might be happening at last. She waved and tried to make herself visible. She expected them to come back. They did not. The aircraft had not spotted her. Another night came down on the mountain. That night was one of the worst, almost being found hurt. Hope had risen and then fallen back into silence. Mary later spoke about moments when she wondered if she would survive, moments when exhaustion and despair pressed in as hard as the cold. But she kept going. She thought about the people she loved. Faith mattered deeply to her, and she held on to it when food, warmth, and strength were almost gone. By Saturday morning, March 30th, Mary had survived 6 nights. Her body was battered, her feet were frostbitten, she had little food left, and her injured leg had carried days of swelling, pain, and exposure. She had moved enough to reach a ridgeline near the Sandy Glacier, around 4,600 feet elevation, where she had a better chance of being seen. An Oregon Army National Guard Black Hawk helicopter searched the mountain. From the air, the crew spotted her. Mary yelled and waved. She tried to stand, but her injured leg would not let her. This time, the people overhead saw her. The rescue lifted her out of the place that had nearly killed her. The helicopter carried her from Mount Hood to a Portland hospital. After almost a week alone, she was alive and able to speak. She had frostbite in her toes, an injured leg, and a wound that needed care. Her family, who had feared the worst, received the news that she had been found alive. Her survival astonished people. Mary had gone out for what was supposed to be a single climb and had endured 6 nights in winter conditions with a day pack, limited food, a serious leg injury, and no easy way to walk out. She had built shelter, melted snow, rationed food, tried to signal rescuers, and forced herself through fear when no help came. She did not come away pretending that the mountain had been harmless. She spoke openly afterward about mistakes, about being headstrong, about taking the wilderness too lightly in some ways, even as an experienced hiker. Her survival was not proof that the plan had been safe. It was proof that once the plan failed, she refused to let the mountain have the final word. Mount Hood returned to silence after the helicopter left. The snow closed over tracks. The wind moved across the ridges as if nothing had happened. But Mary Owen came home from a place where a small injury, a wrong turn, and a whiteout could have ended everything. She had entered the mountain expecting a climb. She came out after 6 nights with frostbite, pain, and a new understanding of how quickly an ordinary decision can become a fight for life. Thank you for listening to Horrifying Survival Stories. Subscribe for more stories of those who faced the impossible and lived.